A1. I like how that sound right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of inspirational. It's like everybody got a goal. They're trying to reach or alive. They're trying to live, man. Be bumps in the road. You just got to keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? If it don't kill you, it make you strong. You know what I'm saying? My story right here. It takes a special kind of mind to grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in as the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best, my whole life invested in, holding mics and sketching rhymes, you guessed it. I'm on mine, still restless, yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime. As many battles I blew breath in, and open mics I blessed. I'll never be labeled an overnight success, passing out CDs, doing shows for free, then jabbing both to eat so that my soul could speak over these soulful beats that's so cold to me. Like the breeze in the shower, we be posted deep. All the prices that I paid, the sacrifices I made, it'll all come to life one day, someday. Just be patient, man. Bumps the road ain't nothing. Rotate, nothing stop, nothing. Check it out. Look, I remember it like yesterday, trying to get my record played at a radio station where they play hits for days. Having a conversation with this lady I'm facing while she making a statement made for me. She said, look, it's too many words in your hook. You need to work on your look. For what it's worth, I never took her words personal. But at first I wasn't certain though if she knew my words are personal and not just verses and books. Until the curtain closes, this is my version of what I know. Learning in first person till I blow, and still I know how it feels to know I'm the deal. Did you still feel like a deal is just right, or a deal just might still add to my appeal? But they won't know I'm real till I touch my first million, right? I'ma chill till my bars is felt and play my hand with the cards I'm dealt, and that's the plan till it solves itself. Everything you want in this world is yours. All you gotta do is claim it, man. Be patient, work hard, man. Don't make it. Don't trip on. Yo, it's damn near impossible to shop music without lots of loot to maneuver and make moves with. So I stay in tune with my pursuit. Fuck trying to recoup, I'm trying to juke and move units. The truth is, I'm used to excuses. Dudes give like you can. Do what I do, food and prove it. Walk in my shoes then. I'm used to goofy producers and cools that try to misuse you quick. Why you got it confused? If you think it's about groupie chicks and interviews in a mix, it ain't got ghouly, but I truly got the tools to overcome obstacles, including this music biz. I'ma shine like jewels, unlike these Rubik's Cube dudes with all this woo 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 when they spit. Mick Luda is the future, so get used to this. It's day one, not a crew or clique. It's a new beginning.
Notice, the Entourage DJs are taking over the game. The Midwest Invasion.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
Great afternoon to you, wonderful people. Welcome to this, what is today? Monday? Welcome to this Monday edition. Let me take off my wiftable face mask. I like these face masks.
Pretty fresh gear there.
Nah, these face masks fire. I've been rocking this joint all week. They're adjustable. You can
shit in the gym. I love it.
You can adjust the size and make sure you get like a custom fit to your face, man. This is definitely a dope item that you can get inside the $100 holler box for
Give him that little
your
promo. That little promo.
Your $100 holler whiftable box. It come with the hat, the hoodie, the t-shirt.
Right.
I appreciate that, fellas. Thank you. I appreciate the shameless plug. Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you what though. Real talk, I think the Intellectual Thuggery logo or the I Said What I Said logo would look pretty slick on that too.
True.
So you know what I'm saying? I think that's we all trying to
The design is fire.
Game. Merch.
Thick. Quality is good. I like the mask a lot, for real.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, when I saw you come in, so it was funny because, like I thought when I gave it to you the first time, you know how Mug put your joint on, like, put this. Well, I know, first of all, I should have known better, though, because y'all niggas be like, man, fuck this shit. Right? Like, you don't fuck about them weak-ass masks, weak-ass. Nah, but then when I saw Two come in, I seen Two with it like 3 days or 2 days or some shit. I'm like, uh-oh.
Nah.
Then I asked him, Two, oh, yeah, is he spilled some water in my joint? Is that some water spilled?
No. Only your son does that. Only your son does
He pours it. So when I seen Two rocking, I was like, I might have hit on one. Right? Because, Two be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah,
Then he was like, hey, I was like, Two, what did you add to the mask? And he was like, no, it's just my face. Husky. That's the husky look.
This is my ravishingly handsome. You understand?
This is my ravishingly
handsome. Ravishingly handsome. That's what I added.
I added me to it.
You know what I mean?
Listen, man, thanks for adding yourselves to this conversation. We greatly appreciate y'all being here on this here Monday afternoon. This is I Said What I Said. Each and every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m., we get together right here with you, and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community, how those issues impact us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And, along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome those issues. Again, we want to overcome them as individuals, but for the sake of this conversation, more importantly, we want to overcome them as a collective. So thank y'all again for choosing to be a part of this conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Absolutely anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of your comments as possible while we go through the show. We would kindly request that you please take a quick second to share the broadcast. Share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network. We want absolutely anyone that you think would add value to this conversation or find value in this conversation. We want them to be a part of this conversation because the more like-minded people we can get in here, the better the opportunities we have of reaching those aforementioned solutions. So please, 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 if you would be so kind, share the broadcast. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest, as it says on this wonderful hoodie. My name is Herb. His name is Two. Long time no see. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? It's been what? A whole weekend.
Been a little minute, man.
2 days out this bitch. What's going on, man?
Nah, because it's Friday and Thursday, too.
Nah. Oh, that's right.
Studio was shut down on Friday. We hop into our spring break, spring cleaning. And then I wasn't here on Thursday at all. So, yeah. Thanks for missing me.
I really hate that Ron has already left out of here.
What happened now?
I just pulled up.
He'll be back.
I just pulled up Facebook, and he's got his Keeping It Realer promo. Have you seen it?
No.
Dressed like a Sigma Gamma.
Oh, he looks
like a banana.
Looks like a McDonald's character.
We're going to play it on the first commercial break.
Dope. He does look like a.
He looks like Ronald McDonald.
First commercial break, we're playing it.
It's nothing to play. It's just a post.
It's a still thing?
Share it.
Yeah.
Share it.
You need to share it, though. I'm gonna pull it up on my computer. We're going to share it later on.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go. Matter of fact.
That's right. No. Wait till the break because I got it.
Not on the break. I ain't going to put it up right now, but I could put it up in the corner the whole time.
Yeah, we're going to keep it realer with Ron Rilla.
Keeping it realer.
Manager Man.
With Manager Man. We got to print those up, fam. We got to print those up.
Should get him a shirt. Let do his own merch.
Two already got the design for it.
This man says versatility like Pac with a mind like Jay, mentality like Nas, and eyes like Ray.
Ray
who?
Ray.
Eyes like Ray.
Ray Charles, motherfucker can't see shit. What's that?
View the world through the eyes of a millennial Ron Rilla, keeping it realer, right here on Whiftable Media.
Hey, gang shit. I like it, little bro.
He needs help.
I don't know what that means, but
he needs help.
it's provocative.
It's not provocative.
Gets the people
it's
going.
Goofy. I'm gonna help him. You need some help.
He said, eyes like Ray?
He said eyes like Ray. It's eyes like Ray. That's what he said. So I'm gonna help Ron.
I'm gonna ask him who Ray is when he comes back.
Because he can't see. I got a cousin named Ray.
He needs help.
Matter of fact, my cousin Ray came on the show.
I got a
and he got like these hazel, like cat color eyes. But I don't think
knows your cousin.
maybe he knows my cousin.
Maybe he knows
Maybe he's a fan. Maybe he's a.
Oh, he's cute. I like that.
Which brings us to our first topic of the day. Lil Nas X.
Hit that transition.
I'm just being for real. So no, we do got a lot of things that we want to get into today. Got a lot of things that we want to discuss, and certainly looking forward to the conversation today. And one of the topics we certainly are going to get into is your man's Lil Nas X, man. Lil Nas X has been all over the news this weekend after he released his video called Montero, Say My Name or something like that. The video is interesting, to say the least. I saw it this morning. Once I had heard about it for like the third, fourth time, I'm like, okay, let me find out what this thing is about, right? And so looked into it. Kind of wild. Did you watch the video?
I did not. I have no desire to watch the video.
No, you need to see the video.
And I don't. I saw stills from it.
No.
And trust me, I know.
No. Gee.
Man, the man has on thigh-high boots in the stills. I have no
for
desire
you
to see the video.
For you to get a full understanding of what is going on, you have to watch the video. It's like 3 minutes long. Just watch it, bro. Like it's tweak. It's super tweak. He starts like off in the Garden of Eden. Then the snake character like comes, talks to him, and curses him, gets like sent down to hell. But his mode of transportation from heaven to hell is a fucking stripper pole. Okay? He takes a stripper pole. Which is the still shot that you see, talking about the boots and all that. He's a stripper taking a stripper pole from heaven to hell. He gets to hell and promptly proceeds to give the devil, who is seated high upon his throne with the devilish face and horns and all that, promptly proceeds to give the devil a lap dance.
Who's a male figure?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lap dance. I'm talking King of Diamonds, Magic City lap dance, fam.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. It's a whole new world out here, bro.
Oh, no.
It's a whole new world out here, bro.
It's different. But, nonetheless, he goes on to explain some of the things. So we will get into the conversation a little bit. That is one of the things we're going to talk about. He talked about his motivation for the images, but the song itself as well, and some of the
In the
lyrics.
video, or he talked about this somewhere else?
In the article. The thing you sent me.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read that.
Yeah, I know. I know. but I did, and I watched the video. I read the article. I heard what he had to say about it, and so we're gonna have that conversation about your man's Lil Nas X here a little bit later on. We're also going to talk about.
I know Candace always has something to say about that too. She got like a 7-minute video. I haven't watched it. I wanted to see it in real time. I can't get hooked up to the road for some reason. Manager man's not here today.
She is the only person that I like. Every time I want to refer to her, I want to call her out her name.
I know.
All right.
I want to call her a B word every time I want to mention her. Like, she's the only. I don't even use the term, but her.
Man, it's some nuance.
I hate that.
It's some nuance
lady.
in that conversation though, man. They ain't always wrong, man.
Nobody's always wrong. Nobody's always right. Nobody's always wrong.
Some of the stuff she says, man, I think some of it has some value, but
it's the motive. That's what I'm saying. It's the provocative, the motive shit that she's trying to do. I do not like Shorty. I don't ever mention her name.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, we are going to talk about Tamika Mallory today.
Yeah,
she has inked the deal with General Motors.
Before we go too far, how do we knock Candace Owens and then celebrate Tamika Mallory? I mean, is it a difference?
We'll get into
Of
it.
course, it is a difference.
Okay, sure.
Candace Owens
let's talk about
is
it.
with the Republicans, and
Tamika Mallory is with who?
Reverend Al.
Well, she's also, which is an extension of the Democratic Party. Now you can play the whole.
There's some nuance there too, though, Mace, because I know of some very, very high-powered Republicans who put money in Tamika Mallory's pocket.
Oh, I don't debate it. I'm gonna say like this: it's like there is she is converting her activism into this one's for you. Capitalism, as we talk about it.
I'd argue that she doesn't even deal in activism and probably never even has.
I won't argue with you. So capitalism. Now I remember, too, there was a moment I sure recall when Tamika Mallory delivered a speech, and you were like, "That Tamika Mallory, gotta get her on."
I did one. I still went on, and it was for the same reason now.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
It was nuance there, man.
It's no, you know what? Look, we all doing doing the Salim, right? We get one good word, and then we gonna work that mug. Nuance is the word of the day today.
Nuance is the word of the day.
I think that Tamika Mallory, I think that she started out with good intentions. I think she stumbled upon opportunity there within, and I think she's kind of lost her way.
Hey, where was Lil Nas X when his video started?
In the Garden of Eden, I believe.
And then he went to
Hell.
the road to hell is paved with
Capitalism.
good intentions.
Stripper pole.
Good intentions. It always starts with good intentions.
Mm.
And then capitalism shows up and you say, oh, shit.
Lap dance.
Lap dance. What you want me to do, boss?
Twerking for Satan. I am now
What you need me
twerking.
to do, boss?
I am now twerking for Satan. Some people would say that Tamika Mallory is now twerking for General Motors, helping them sell Cadillacs.
Hey, man.
She's got a new commercial.
Pimps need pimp cars, you dig?
She's got a new commercial.
Hey, I'm glad it's Cadillac.
And she's selling Cadillacs, so she's twerking for General Motors now. Lots of people are saying, listen, this is General Motors. This is an old company whose money dates back to slavery. They owe us fucking money.
They don't have cars.
Right.
So activists lose integrity when they obtain corporate sponsorships?
We're going to have the conversation.
Yes!
Hoes
they do.
gotta eat.
Yes, they do.
It depends.
Hoes gotta eat too, man.
There's nuance
Okay.
to it. It depends. And we're going to have the conversation. And we're going to have the conversation fairly.
Did she do it for? Did she get an Escalade? Well, first of all, it'll determine.
Probably
whether-
got a Fleetwood.
No, I think she's probably got an Escalade. So if she hasn't got like,
Diamond in the back.
I'm curious to know what she got. Like if she doing
Money,
it for
I'm sure.
and a car,
A big check. She does have a car.
couple cars.
That's the least of it. Throw you a truck, no
They
trouble.
They would give you a car. But she's a New Yorker, so she might not have a car. Her security might ride in Cadillacs anyway.
Yeah, that's how they pulling up now in a fleet of lax.
Right. So
So we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna do it from a fair place, like I always try to do.
Shout out to Tamika Mallory.
yeah, salute to Tamika Mallory.
That
We'd
nuance
love
of
to
that
talk
check.
to you.
That check nuance.
Huh?
Check nuance. Nuance check.
We're gonna get into that as well. Along the same lines, your man's Roland Martin.
That's your man.
That's your man's. Roland Martin gets checked by a 21-year-old, or does he? Right. The 21-year-old is a young man from Atlanta, activist. Founded a mentoring program for young boys ages 11 to 17.
Truth coming out.
And he was mad at Roland Martin because Roland Martin is saying, that the government needs to be doing this and Biden needs to be doing that for black people, and the shorty is saying we need to be doing it all for self.
So in the midst of the voting bill they just passed in, what was it, Georgia? Roland, I guess that was the topic of conversation early before the bill was even passed, because that was last week sometime, I think it was, when the shorty did this. But shorty had been engaged with Roland Martin a few times, and Roland Martin had shared a couple of his tweets or something he said, and then he didn't know who he was when he was actually engaging the guy on the Zoom call.
Sure.
And Roland went in and didn't agree with a lot of stuff the shorty was saying, and I actually agree with Roland in that sense. But also the shorty has a deeper story than just that. Like, he's heavily engaged in the Republican Party. He's been to the Trump White House. He was invited personally by Trump. So
really,
yeah. So the conservatives got him on the world tour, but this just speaks to how shallow, surface, and ignorant the vast majority of people are.
So you're saying he's being led and fooled without really knowing it?
Not only that, but he's also being promoted to our community in a way that his message is being justified, and they don't have any backstory on who Shorty is. They just think he's a random 21-year-old who just accidentally called Roland Martin show, and that's just not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's a
right.
It's the overplay for the underplay.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you do a little bit of research on Shorty, like he has like you said, a mentoring group. He gets juvenile offenders from, and it's not Atlanta.
They're opening a school.
Like
they're in
Macon
Albany, Georgia.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to shit on that or downplay that or
Too late.
All right. He's gonna shit on it down
whatever.
as the conversation goes.
What I mean?
Gonna get into that a little bit later on as well. I think that both of them are right. I think they both had some points. I understand the perspective that the young man is coming from. I certainly understand what Roland Martin is saying too. The truth usually somewhere in the middle.
I think it's
although it's hard to
old
find.
goofy and a young goofy.
Well, wise man told me don't argue with fools. People from a distance can't tell who is who. All right. We're gonna get into that. Also, the Georgia bill. You just mentioned it. You alluded to it. The Georgia voting bill that has now, they've written everything they can into this bill. It's a huge bill, and they've written everything they can into it to suppress voter turnout as much as they can, right? Georgia, who has been a Republican state for the last 3 decades in terms of presidential elections, the Democrats won it. Joe Biden won Georgia in the presidential election, and then shortly thereafter, they were able to flip the House with it, or flip the Senate. I'm sorry, by Warnock and I forgot the white man's name, winning those seats down there, and so the old guard in Georgia is pissed. They're like, "Hey, fam, we are a Republican state, fam. We don't play this kind of goofy stuff. Y'all done got this black lady running Atlanta. Y'all done got Stacey Abrams down here popping off. Y'all got her ready to be vice president. Like, y'all doing too much down here." And so now they say, let us flex our muscle a little bit. And I say, no shit. Of course they're flexing their muscle. Of course they're pulling out all the stops. And so the bill includes everything from, the process through which you can cast an absentee ballot to making it illegal and an actual crime to pass out food or water to people as they wait in line to vote. So we're going to get into that. And again, I'll give you my stance on it even before we have the actual conversation. I say, yeah, of course they did. Are y'all surprised? Because I ain't.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to go with what May said. Today's word of the day is nuance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we overact to simple, silly shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we're controlled. And I think that we're comfortable in that position. I think that's why Lil Nas X can wear a devil outfit and lap dance for the devil and be the topic of conversation all week.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derek, what's his name?
Jackson,
I think he can, praise dance for Jesus after he cheats on his wife and be a topic of conversation for a week. And he's going to sell a bunch of books. And
disappointed in myself for getting caught up in that. I hadn't heard of the man's name until last week. And then it became unavoidable.
Yeah, but I just think we're operating at a very low frequency, and I think it's easy to control the people when they're operating at a very low frequency. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're not going to dig deep into a conversation at all. We're only going to look at the surface, and I think that a lot of stuff that we deal from and a lot of conversations that we respond to, we only responded from a very surface level. So if I'm a puppeteer and I'm playing a game, I can manipulate the shit out of the crowd.
For sure.
With very simple thought process.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And,
sure.
We see it happening, whether it be the little young boy with Roland, who's surely a Republican operative, has a history of this shit. Even the speech that he was, even the conversation he was having with Roland was very, very Republican-esque. And I'm not necessarily knocking that. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna rock with that, at least understand where it's coming from. It's funny that we kind of anchor ourselves into the Democratic Party, and this dude comes out here spewing some very conservative views, and you rocking with it. I'm okay with that if that's what you rocking with.
If that's what you're on.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just not how we respond. So we just it's easy to manipulate us because we don't pay attention, man. And it's across the gamut when you look at it from my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, Derek Jackson, Lil Nas X, Roland Martin, the don't give people water bill, don't give people food. Shit, we in COVID. I don't want a motherfucker giving random up. Why would you be giving me food?
Yeah, but that ain't what it's about, though.
Either way, though. We just ain't digging deep into the conversation. And when you not, it's funny how people are like, man, they playing chess and you playing checkers. Everybody's playing chess. I mean, everybody's playing checkers, fam.
Quick jumps.
Matter of fact, y'all play tic-tac-toe. It's all tic-tac-toe. You know what I mean? You do not play checkers or chess. It's tic-tac-toe out here.
Connect 4 in this motherfucker.
It's Connect 4 out here, man.
Couple other things we got to get into. A white California school teacher, she was caught going on a racist rant over a Zoom call.
I wanted to see that. I wouldn't just hear what
referred to black people. They're pieces of shit. Okay? And this is how they act.
She knows some of us.
See what you on today. I see what you on today. All right.
I'm just asking.
Tell what kind of day it's gonna be around here.
I'm just asking.
It's all good.
That's the important question.
She had just concluded, so she thought concluded, a Zoom meeting with a student and the student's mother.
So she was talking about the student's mama.
She thought that the Zoom call had ended. It had not. It continued, and so the mother then started to record what she was saying, and let's just say she doesn't really have a very high opinion of black people. But I did watch the video. We can pull that up a little bit later. And then one more thing we want to get into is the fact that an inmate has been killed at the Oklahoma City County Jail after they took a corrections officer hostage. And police came in there, and the dude who I guess was the ringleader of this takeover, he had got the keys and let out other inmates, and they were holding this one corrections officer hostage. He was shot and killed by law enforcement inside the jail. I'll read you the article, the official article that came out, I think on CNN or ABC or something like that. On CNN, the official article that came out. But then I also want to juxtapose that to the video that was recorded by one of the inmates from inside the actual jail, because there's two sides to every story, and CNN told one side, and the inmates told another side. So I'm going to play that video for you all a little bit later. But those are things we're going to get into on the show today. Got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hop into the first conversation of the day. His name is Tu. My name is Herb. We're here till 6.
WIFTVPN.
All day. Check it out. See, while you was on the corner trying to scrape up pack money, I was driving 80 stack trucks off rap money. I'm back money. If you want it, come to the hundreds and ask for me. Meet them OGs that are blast for me. I'm right.
Everybody's talking about the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish. Place your order today for a delicious meal. The chicken and fish are fried to perfection, featuring a wide variety of catfish, perch, tilapia, whiting, and shrimp. Now it's your turn to see what everybody's talking about. It's the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, Chicago's newest spot for delicious meals. Stop by at 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop, or get contactless delivery from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. For more info, call 773-807-9010, 773-807-9010. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish is open just in time for lunch, or take it to the house for a delicious dinner. It's Chicago's new spot for perfectly fried chicken and fish. Don't wait any longer. Try it today. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish.
Yeah, we're down with it. So I am God tapping in one time for the one time. I am getting ahead without devolving. And I want to let y'all know that this coming Friday, April 2nd, I will be in the building on the What's In It for the Black People Media Network on Facebook, live with the homies. T-Tom, Gino, Eugene McIntosh, Terrence Tomlin, the bigs, you know what I'm talking about, live on the soil. We're going to be debuting and premiering my upcoming project, The Eternal Reflection, with the homie Custom Made. Y'all ain't going to want to miss this. 1 to 3 p.m. Make sure y'all tapping in. We're going to be on the soil with the bigs, you know what I'm talking about. Shout out the homie Gino, Eugene McIntosh. Shout out Terrence Tomlin. Shout out to What's In It for the Black People Media Network, you know what I'm talking about. Make sure you there. Yeah, I am God.
WIFTVPN.
All day. Check it out. See, while you was on the corner trying to scrape up pack money, I was driving 80 stack trucks off rap money. I'm back money. If you want it, come to the hundreds and ask for me. Meet them OGs that are blast for me. I'm right here. Ill Adidas, $400 jeans on me. Itchy with no safety, a loaded magazine on me. Southside, that's as wild as it gets. And no, I never sold crack. That's some house nigga shit. I'm not judging, but every man that's a man gotta stand by his principles, and I'm not budging. That's Mickey. You can take it how you want, but you can never be me. You can fake it how you want. I spit that uncut raw. You can bake it how you want. Break it down any way you like, you get the same result. Just get in tune. The elephant in the room has now assumed pole position. Whoa. Oh. BJ, get him. Come on.
Reporting live from the gutter where that butter get gorillas jobs. That's why we call it work. The same work who get a nigga robbed. I throw my dice against the concrete. If the bitches pass, see you later. Grab my paper, tell her they kiss my ass. This the jungle, baby, I'm a lion. try me, I'll be firing. The same banger saved Private Ryan. You the prey, you survive and hide. Better pray that them vultures and them rovers don't go flying by him. Them other niggas just so-so. How in the birth a nigga this hot in the cold go? I went from 20-inch assassins on that Osmo to the pretty 760 sitting low on them bozos. Those are big shoes, you motherfuckers is so slow. Get caught without your heat in these streets is a no-no. Baby need Pampers, daddy need that photo. It's bread or nothing, big old niggas, you see the logo. Whoa.
What's up, family? We are back and we are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Howard. This is I Said What I Said on a wonderful, beautiful Monday afternoon here in Chicago. Like, dead ass don't ever know.
Hurry up and get out of here this week.
I have. I fucking hate you so bad, bro. Like, why do you play so much, bro? Damn. God.
Couldn't help it.
I know. It's all good. Hope y'all are well out there on this Monday afternoon. It's beautiful in Chicago, like 65, almost 70 degrees. Nonetheless, I walk into the studio and Amazing Lil Ron got the thermostat on 80 degrees inside the studio, like it's not 80 degrees outside.
I had shit to do with that.
Crazy.
I had shit to do with that. Dude turned the heat on me this morning.
Man.
He's anemic.
Cooked me out of here this morning.
Make his ass wear a scarf or something to work. Like, don't let him turn the heat on, and no more unless he got a jacket.
He already
on.
wears a scarf. I think he be, he do the.
He probably got on long
Swoosh
johns and
around.
shit. Like, man, like, bruh. After, like, it's about April now, fam. After April, don't turn the heat on in the house unless you got on a motherfucking hoodie already. Like, you don't just be walking around in your wife beater talking about I'm turning the heat on. Nah, fam. Put a hood on first. Like, then you could say it's cold in this motherfucker. Till then, keep the heat off. Hell's wrong with you, man? 65, 70 degrees outside. This little anemic manager man want to run around here and turn the thermostat on 1,000. But anyhow, I digress. Hope y'all are well. We appreciate y'all tuning in here on this Monday afternoon. I tried to make my modeling debut on the commercial. I don't know if y'all saw me try to stand up in the camera. I was trying to show y'all the new, I said what I said, Intellectual Thuggery pants. We got pantses, y'all.
Pantses.
Pantses is my new favorite word to say. I don't know when I got so ignorant, but I used to hate when people said that, and now I just like to say it. Pantses. So we got some.
They sweet though.
They are. They kind of dope. I got on mine. These are some other ones. These are twos. But they raw. It's got the same design that's on the hoodie. The Intellectual Thuggery, and I say what I say on the bottom. Real cool, super dope quality. They like kind of stretch a little bit, and they got the elastic bottom, so you can kind of like hike them up a little bit if that's what you're into. That's the difference between, what is it, joggers and sweats too? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I was just telling her about a story when I was in L.A.
Yeah.
And I had on jogging pants. Well, no, I'm sorry. I was confused. I had on sweatpants.
Right.
And I was at a sports bar where you should
be able to wear sweatpants.
You know what I mean? But in L.A., the bougies and the whites. It's like, no, man, you can't come in with sweatpants on. I'm looking at people walking around with.
Sorry, Nicole. I just like it. I like saying pantses.
And they was like, no, those aren't sweatpants. Those are joggers.
Those are joggers. Those are not sweatpants.
Shoot down the block to Target and buy me some sweatpants with cuffs at the bottom.
Right.
Because they're joggers.
Because those are joggers.
Those are joggers.
They look a little different.
All right.
I dig them, though. I really do like these pants. They super duper comfortable, man. They feel good. Oh, we also got them in leggings, too. So, Maze, we hook you up. No problem.
Get you covered.
He looking for something to play in response. He for
the streets of Bolingbrook.
Streets of Bolingbrook. We're at the streets of Bolingbrook. we do have them in leggings as well. So if that is more your speed, just let us know. But we got the joggers and the leggings, and I'm rocking with it.
Yeah. Also, man, shout out to everybody who's been checking pictures on the Instagrams, putting up our products. I saw people with the mug. I saw people with their sweatshirts on. So I'm gonna find everyone that I can find at least. I'm gonna put them on the I Said What I Said Instagram too.
You know you should send them to us too. We'll put them in the stories, right? We can put them in the With the Love Media stories as well.
Facts. So appreciate y'all for that as well. Two, a lot of things we need to get into, man. So why don't we start national, and then bring a little bit of focus on some particular stories. the Georgia voting bill. How about that? How about that? They signed it into law, I think Thursday. Brian Kemp, I was trying to find the governor's name. Governor Kemp signed it into law on Thursday. And it is a sweeping bill. It started off as just a 2-page, document they were trying to push through, and now it's swelled into this ginormous bill that
It's like 98 pages or something like that.
yeah. And so it's just this bunch of sweeping laws trying to make it more difficult to vote. Okay? They're trying to make it more difficult to vote. They're trying to suppress voter turnout. They had such record numbers of voter turnout in November. And again, a state, Georgia, that has been for national presidential elections has been Republican for the past 3 decades, flipped and voted Democrat for the first time in, again, like 3 decades. So, old white men are mad. And when old white men get upset, they throw temper tantrums and do everything they can to get their way. And what these old white men can do is sign a bill into law that says everything from what you can't do in terms of like getting your ballot in, like absentee ballots, but also to small things like, you can't.
They shut down the time around early voting. It's not as wide of a gap of time. It's not a bigger gap of time. They shut down weekend voting. And the biggest outrage though is the fact that you can't receive water or food while in line.
I think that's the most egregious thing. I think that's the pettiest thing, right? I don't know that that's the biggest thing, right? People that are in line, I don't necessarily know that you're leaving because you thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Does it make it more comfortable for you to stand there? Sure. But those people that are they already came to vote. I think the biggest impact will be felt in terms of how they go about the absentee ballots, who's able to vote, where, and all of the identification mandates that they've placed on the voting process now. I think those are things that are going to actually impact the elections more so than we can't hand out bottles of water in line. The people that's there, they pretty much going to be there, right? But I think when you can't get these absentee ballots in, or you change the law that says, okay, y'all can't send people absentee ballots unless they request them. Because last year they sent them to everybody. We were during COVID, obviously, but they just sent them to everybody whether they were requested or not. So now they're saying you can only send them to people if they request, and then, of course, there's a couple of hoops you got to jump through to be able to request it. And so they're just trying to make it as difficult as possible. They just want their people to come up and vote, and they want to make it difficult for everybody else to vote. And so you look at some of the restrictions that they placed on, and it seems like they're targeting black and poor people, right? And
any level,
people that are generally voting Democratic.
Any level of disenfranchisement targets poor people and
Right.
black people because black people are poor.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Broke, five broke.
Yeah, but Mays, Illinois. Does Illinois? You got to request an absentee ballot in Illinois, don't you? You already got to request an absentee ballot here in Illinois. They don't just send them out regularly. I don't remember.
No, it's vote by mail now. So it's like you have to request it.
Yeah,
you do have to request.
I didn't think that was like an
They-
abnormal thing.
What, to request? No, I think it's ridiculous. You shouldn't. So here's what happened. And I'm sorry, I was looking away, but basically what happened is when they did this vote by mail thing, it essentially, in some states, you could just automatically send a person based on their voter, them on the roll, send them a ballot, and they could mail it in. Now that sounds like that's cool. But again, if I go in your mailbox, or if I know they don't verify the address, they don't verify your vote. You just wake up, there's a ballot in ballot in your box. You do it and you drop it in. I think I'm gonna tell you, I'm so against the vote by mail stuff because I do believe there could the potential to be fraud. But essentially, what they want to do is say that vote by mail expands the opportunity. But this was something that they didn't do before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if voting by mail and for us as black people is helpful because we don't have mail programs, right? Right now, all of these people who have the ability to send you a ballot are usually well-funded rich people. Once Stacey Abrams ain't hot no more, then they're going to be sending ballots to people's locations where you don't even know if the people live there. But if I go and collect the mail, I can send that ballot back in. I say that realistically, I'm really not against it because I feel like most of this voter suppression stuff they're talking about in Georgia is not for us. And it's like we died and fought for the right to vote. I don't think a bottle of water has stopped anybody from voting. I think it is a flashpoint that they use to get us all excited about it. And I think they should just make voting a national holiday. Cut out all of this extra, the voting on, forget early voting, forget vote by mail. Have it make the election day a national holiday. Nobody has to go to work and you vote. I don't know that all these things that they're talking about were the difference in what made the election. I think what really made the difference in the election, as much as we want to give Stacey Abrams the credit, is Trump. Right. It's like, it wasn't like, I mean, I know that they're giving
it. Too far. Like, he was too far that he flipped some of y'all own people.
Right.
Like,
so I said this morning, we'll give Stacey,
get a sister the credit.
Give her the credit. But realistically, let's be clear. It wasn't like she was converting white folks. White folks was like, this motherfucker crazy. We got to get him out here because he's making us all look crazy. Yeah. Now, you find me somebody that we can... And so I think this is all a bunch of a hullabaloo because they need to get black people charged up again because guess what? They got another election coming up in 2 years and they're going to lose Georgia.
They're going to lose Georgia.
They're going to lose Georgia because they don't have that same excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And
they don't have Trump.
Exactly. And so now they got to get us riled up about they're going to steal our right to vote. Man, ain't nobody in Georgia been like...
No, I know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not with you. But that's kind of how I felt about it, right?
Appreciate you.
The water conversation, the food conversation, and again, like, it's not the same across the country, right? It's not the same voting laws everywhere. It's different state to state, but it seemed like manufactured outrage to me.
I understand the outrage. I understand because you got all these, old, powerful white men just using their authority to make it as difficult as they can on the voting process, right? I understand it, but I understand what they're doing. I'm very, very fucking clear that there are different teams here, and I understand that they play for the other team. And the other team is going to do everything they can to make your success as difficult as possible.
But see, comes another question, though. What's the other team in regards to Democrats and Republicans?
Yeah, they both on the same team.
That's one team.
I'm clear on that piece, right? But I'm simply saying this. If you're trying to create a system that would then impact a certain demographic's ability to vote, that's coming from the other team. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is that, why are we surprised? Like, that is what you expect your opposition to do, to make shit hard for you. And so the point is, you just got to keep coming back. You hit them with a punch, boom. You thought they was going to stay down? No, they get back up and counterpunch. But you got to counterpunch. It's a fucking war, and it keeps going.
To Maze's point, and to the point I'm making where, it's manufactured outrage, I don't think they're surprised at all. I think they're doing exactly what you're saying. They're planning. They're strategizing, right? Now, the problem is that we haven't defined our team, right? So for us as a people, in regards to how that strategy plays out, we shouldn't be just super committed to the Democratic Party anyway.
Agreed. I think that's stupid.
Black people should be independent than the motherfucker, right? And decide what our team is and what our wants and needs and desires are. And until we get to that space and place, you're just being manipulated by that same team with a pretend jersey on, right? They're strategic, plan, plot, strategize, organize, strategize. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Mobilize.
So they're giving you the manufactured outrage now. Say, hey, man, look, black people, look how they fucking you over. Get prepared, man. Get prepared, because Maze is right. There is no Trump, right? Trump was a catalyst to organize around, right? It's easy to make him out to be the villain. You know what I mean? Look how he treats y'all. Right, look, what's the sister's name? They arrested the sister down there in GA2, the elected official. Yeah. I forget her name.
I forgot her name too.
But yeah, that's a top, and I'm not with that. But again, it's part of the strategy to keep you in play. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, man, when you start thinking about voter suppression, man, how many motherfuckers know how the voting machine works? When anything goes digital, your ass ain't in control.
Yeah, you don't know what's popping with it for sure. For sure, you don't know what's popping with it, right? But my point is, again. And I don't know how much of an impact it's gonna have. I certainly don't think not passing out water is gonna impact the election. It's the other stuff that I think could impact it. However, it's just not surprising to me. It's the game. You are in a fight. There's another team, you on the other one, right? And they are going to continue to throw haymakers at you until they knock you out, or you throw them until you knock them out. But one election, getting a fucking tyrant out of the office is not enough. If it wasn't him, none of that wouldn't even went down like that. So,
But we got to understand, and Salim made a point earlier, and I'm not even trying to go back to catch it, but he was talking about the demographics of how the demographics are changing and white people are becoming the minority. I say it all the time.
That matters.
Going after 2005 would be the first time white folks would be a minority in this country, right? The demographics are shifting, and they're trying to maintain power. But that's not a Democratic, Republican kind of conversation. I've been in a lot of private conversations over the last month. Shit, even when I went to Houston, it was some political shit. And this is being funded by both parties. And then when I start looking from the outside in, it looks like a civil war taking place. You know what I mean? It's like it's a quiet coup on how to maintain power. You know what I mean? And it's not how to retain Republican power or how to retain Democratic power. It's how to retain white power.
white power.
White power. You know what I mean? And I think that's happening from every angle. And I think we really are being manipulated as pawns in the game. And that's really how our existence has been. And that's okay, right? It's okay to be used, but if you're going to be used, make the person who's using you useful. Get something out the damn deal. Get something out the damn deal. And I think that's kind of how we got to start playing the political game. What do we want? How do we go about getting it? My opinion hasn't changed since the last election. We shouldn't be going in and voting for no party specifically. We should be going in independently and saying this is what we demand, and the only demand that we can really have is reparations.
That's it.
And until that happens, man, I don't fuck your party.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, G.
Who needs me the most, and what are you offering? It's a negotiation.
Here's the thing, though. That's what I'm like. When you talk about our Democrats and Republicans, two different teams in terms of the national parties, nah, hell no.
It's
right?
the Green Party, man. That's the real Green Party.
I get that, right? They're not different teams, but at the same time as they move in the same direction for the same ultimate goal, they kind of play it differently. And so what I'm saying is that we need to understand that thing too, and we can play it the same way. So the conversation we was having last week, ADOS versus, Pan-Africanism, right? Okay. Two different sides of the same team, though. It should be. Except we don't play it like that. We like beef out loud. They fake beef out loud, but in behind closed doors, like they all in cahoots. They doing the same shit. They fake beef out loud. We real beef out loud and in the crib. Like, and that's not productive.
So let's be clear though. White power.
White power.
White economic power, beef out loud too. And they not really in cahoots, right?
In what way?
Greed doesn't stop. Greed wants ultimate power, right? So there's always infighting and power shifts. You know what I mean? There's about to be another power shift. Now, my buddy, I can't remember the name of this damn book. I'm trying to think of the title of this book, but it's a book that kind of breaks down how over time, warring fractions kind of emerge out of the top elite classes of any society. And they go to war about who's going to have ultimate power in XYZ society, right? When you start thinking about how wealth is calcified in America, where the top 1% has 98% of the wealth, you know what I mean? And that's like the wealth disparity has never been that large even since slavery. Right. So we just at the toppling of capitalism at this point. At least it's going to change in some way. It's about to manifest. It's going to manifest something differently.
Sure.
And in that vein, like I said, even the private conversations I've been in, man, these are uber elite, wealthy white folks. And they're making their plays on maintaining or controlling even larger swaths of the economy and of resources, right? And in the midst of doing that, we are the second largest voting block of people, right? We're not the second largest population like Hispanics are now, right? But we're still the second largest voting block. So we become a piece in the game, or central piece in the game, to either obtain new leverage on power or to, move the piece down the board a little bit. So in that vein, we have a little bit of value right now. And in that conversation, we should be leveraging ourselves. How do we make our vote valuable for us? Not for the Democratic Party, not for the Republican Party, but our communities. How do we make that value for us? And again, it is reparations. So the difference I see in the CAM and ADOS conversations is not necessarily any different than the white folks. The only difference is that we're a powerless group. So losing means more.
It does. It does. And that's why you got to be more connected, right? You got to be more unified. Like, we don't have the luxury of just being, right? We talk about that a lot with white people. They can just kind of be. And they can just fall in where they fall in because every aspect of society is playing to their favor regardless. So they can just kind of be. And so they can they can genuinely walk around like, oh, I'm a Democrat and I believe in this and I'm a liberal. And okay, that's cool. Wonderful and marvelous, but you can still just fall in where you want because it's all rolling the same way. We don't really have that luxury. And so, you know, it's imperative that we find our common ground and build upon that more so than figure out where we so different at and fight about that. I'm just saying we don't have that luxury like they have it.
Yeah, we don't have to find common ground. Common ground is simple. Let's not look for it. It's reparations.
Right, but even within that, we can't fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that's because we just don't know no better, and that goes back to the surface level of understanding, right? And that's why these kind of that nuance I talk about where they play these games. That's why we fall for it all the time because we don't have that understanding. We don't have that understanding of our history. We don't have that understanding of identity. We don't have that understanding of American history. We don't have that understanding of American politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting what I always say, 98% of the employment in our community is government employment. You know, when you start thinking about the post office being the largest employer of black people in America, when you start thinking about the police force, the bus services, those are government jobs. And the fact that we don't pay attention to government is very interesting to me. You know, when that's our largest employer.
That plays into that Roland Martin conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we shouldn't be talking about like do this independent of government. Do this.
Well, there's the very value of government to help is really at its core is to take care of the least of thee, right? And that's what it's showing.
Allegedly.
We got a 98%. No, again, that's why 98% of us work for government entities because you're not getting accepted anywhere else.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that we can hold our own weight in the private sector. No question about it. I think we geniuses.
But we're not allowed entree.
But we don't have any power. And just like anything else, hiring is tribal too. There's a reason why you got to dress a certain way. There's a reason why you got to speak the King's English.
And I'm the same way. If I'm hiring people, all things being equal, I'm rolling with my people every rep.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And a white person would have to be better than the black person for me to be like, I'm hiring the white person.
How much better? Because they have to be a lot better.
Yeah, they got to be significantly better.
But
Like,
it's also perspective, though, right? So as a capitalist, it would be smart to have white people on your team because you're going to need that white person to go introduce your ass.
100% agree.
You understand what I'm saying? Because your black ass could be the greatest thing in since sliced bread. But
If you as a capitalist, then the best thing to do is hire a Latino.
I'm going with a white man.
he's on some other shit
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
on some other shit.
He's on some other shit
You know
right
what I'm
now.
saying? If you're trying to get the actual job done, then you hire Latino. Now, if you're trying to get clout,
investments,
if you're trying to get clout and you're trying to get investments and you're trying to move into the capitalist realm, like into the upper level, then you hire your white man.
If you're trying to be creative and productive, you get
You want
us.
to get stuck, but if you're right, creative and productive. But if you want to get stuck, and I'm with it, because I got a commitment to black folks. But I would tell you, we tried to open up a restaurant. Me and Vern.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, dog.
Restaurant business is hard. Though.
It is.
Like damn near impossibly hard.
I agree.
Restaurants have such a low success rate.
I wholeheartely agree. And one of the other reasons it has such a low success rate?
Why?
Because, if you tell the brother that he got to go clean the bathroom, he'd be like, I'm taking all the meat on the way out this mug tonight.
Hey, I hesitate to tell the story because I don't like to
exacerbate the truth.
Bro, yesterday, I had to go to the CVS on 103rd and Longwood.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to CVS Pharmacy on 103rd and Longwood.
Around the white police.
Right.
That's a good one.
I got a trip coming up that I needed a specific COVID test from. I actually took like 2 COVID tests this weekend. But I had to go to this specific place for this trip, right? So anyhow, while I'm over there, stop by somebody's house, have a quick meeting, and then I go to the wow. I go to the Five Guys. I go to Five Guys, right?
What's that, on
On 95th and Western, right? Just west of Western.
Mm-hmm.
I go in there and I get food and I go back to South Shore.
The police didn't stop you?
Nope. Police didn't stop me.
Good job.
have a wonderful experience inside the Five Guys. Walk-ins, young black girl, probably 20, super polite, knows everything that's going on in there because I'm not there often, so she was able to, help me with the process and options and all that shit. So brother back there, clearly managing the spot, seems to be doing a wonderful job. It's like 6 other black people, young black people that are making up this staff, and they're all working.
Western?
Yeah, they're all working.
Because the white kids is going to work at the Rainbow Cone. That's it.
They are working. It's pristine in here. It's relatively quick. They were busy, but they were still relatively quick and all super polite, like super polite. I get home, have a burger with no patties on it.
The audacity.
Okay? It is completely dressed. Mayo, lettuce, tomatoes,
They
pickles.
gave you the vegan option.
Yeah, that's probably what I needed. However, what I ordered was
You didn't order the vegan
No,
option.
I ordered the bacon cheeseburger option.
Yeah, they do what you needed.
So I called.
Sadiq must have worked there.
Right, Sadiq sent them.
Sadiq sent them.
I called. I said, yo, I was just in there, and somebody forgot to put the patties on my burger. Like, y'all gave me a burger completely dressed with no patties on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude who picked up the phone,
Double said that's the keto burger.
he instantly gets an attitude. He like, what? Ain't putting no meat on your burger. Man, look, come back up here with your receipt, and I remake it. That's all I could do. And hung up on me, right?
The audacity.
Fam, I wasn't even trying to come back over there.
But
I
just
just wanted
'cause
y'all
that
to
you
know that y'all fucked my shit up, and then y'all can tell me how y'all gonna correct it at a later date.
So that's Five Guys on 95th and Western.
95th and Western.
Don't spend your money there.
I'm in South Shore, fam.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
I don't eat Five Guys. I'm not a burger dude. But I don't go mainly because they say that's Obama's favorite fast food. And, that's
And the peanuts.
it's enough for me. I'll never go.
I go to That's a Burger on 83rd and Stone. They just haven't been open in a year. They like Mr. Williams. They closed the place down for COVID. They just haven't come back. I understand they're
I
older.
think they got a That's a Burger on 95th too.
Really?
Yeah, if it's not a That's a Burger, it's something very similar. But it's like 95th and right before Western.
That's a Burger.
East of Western.
That's a Burger is my shit, right? So when they're open, I don't eat anybody else's burger. Sometimes I go to Mickey's because I just fuck with the people. You know what I'm saying? But
Rico.
I fuck with Rico and Matt and Nolan. But That's a Burger is my joint.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Point is, I call back, right? I call back and I'm like, yo,
You hung up on me, G?
so the young lady who I could tell was the same lady from the counter. She picked up the phone. I said, yo, who just answered the last phone call?
Should have hit it with that Godfather shit. Fredo, I know it was you.
I know it's you.
It breaks my heart.
And it breaks my heart. So I said, who answered the last phone call? Because I called to tell y'all that y'all messed up my order, and they hung up on me. And so she's like, who just answered the last phone call? And it's like, James. And so she's like, the person's name was James.
Fuck James on 95th and Western. That Five Guy.
I said,
brother.
I said, cool. So I hang up and I sit there for a second. I decide. I'm trying to decide if I'm finna take my ass from all the way over east back to 95th and Western. But I'm pissed though, right? And so anger always wins. I get in my car.
And you drove back to
I
Western.
drive back to 95th and Western.
You ain't had shit to do that day.
Don't matter.
I'd have ate that keto burger.
It wasn't about the burger at this point. It was about you hung up on me.
It's about James.
Stop front, you ain't gonna
On
eat that
95th
keto burger.
at Western.
Whatever. I'm not gonna eat the keto burger, but I got all kind of like Impossible Beyond beef and all that shit.
Gotta get his
I
ass
did that.
up. He
But
done hung up on me.
This is we way past food now, fam.
Yeah, I got to call Principal.
So-
Go holler at James.
I just pull up and I go in there and the young lady at the counter recognizes me again. She's like, she's trying to be polite again like they was first. She's like, do you have you want to make an order? You got to pick up because they got two sides. It's a COVID thing. Pick up over there, order over here, right? And so no, I said, who's James? Fuck the order.
Where James at?
Who is James? And so she like, oh shit. So she like turn around.
He's from the east side.
And so she walk up to James, right?
James,
and
go
she,
hide.
And so she
Go
talking to James like this with her back to me. And she's like James, the dude you hung up on.
Hit it with the thumb move.
That's him. The dude you hung up on, that's him, right? And so he give me one of them half look over his shoulder so he could kind of see. And then he like, all right. And so he gathered himself and then he walks over there, right? And he's like, hey, sir, what's the problem? No. Miss me with the hey, sir, what's the problem, sir? I said,
Hung up on me, James.
I said, James, what is your problem? What you mean? I said, how? Explain to me how you could possibly be pissed off that y'all fucked up my food. Make me understand how you mad about that. Oh, no, I wasn't mad. No, you were mad because you instantly got an attitude as soon as I told you I met you. Patty's, this is what I can do. Click and hung up the phone on me. I'm like, that was ignorant as hell. What is your problem, right? James surprised the fuck out of me, okay? James floored me with his response. James was like,
man, I just got divorced today. My wife left me. I don't even know my kids no more.
James said, brother, I'm so sorry, man. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I don't know why. I did respond that way. He's like, we was busy. I was a little flustered. And I was
on 95th around all these white people.
Right. He's like, I was a little flustered. We was busy. And, I just, I'm sorry for how I responded, man. I'm real sorry. What did you have? Let me
give you some more meat.
Let me slap my meat on your bun. Looking ass. So James was super polite. He remakes the whole order and gives me some extra shit and all this other shit. And then I'm going back and I'm like, okay, faith in humanity is restored. I went over there prepared for James to say some wild shit, and I was gonna foul James.
No, you didn't.
And
you
James
really
just
thought
gave
James
you some meat, huh?
Huh?
Gave you some meat, huh?
Fuck you. No, I didn't necessarily anticipate a fight, but I certainly anticipated James to be like, so what? And then
No. First of all, no. Check this out, Herb. All right. First of all,
because it was like call corporate. I'm like, he didn't say that, but that was one of the options. I'm like, no, I'm not calling. I'm not mad at corporate. I'm mad at
Herb,
James.
how tall?
I'm mad at James.
I'm 6'1".
6'1". You a little husky.
Yeah.
Right. You a little husky.
Yeah.
And you got to know, as a manager of a restaurant, that
Husky is so disrespectful. You call me fat, nigga. Husky is disrespectful as fuck.
Husky works for me.
I like husky.
Husky works for me.
Husky is disrespectful.
It's like Khalid Al-Amin was husky. You know what I mean?
It's so disrespectful.
But I'm gonna just tell you. So, 6'1", husky dude from the east side walks in, and you got to understand the gravity of what it takes to make someone drive back. Right? Like you could be.
I told him too. I said, I don't
you
live
could be
nowhere
3
around
blocks
here,
away. But if I drove 10 blocks away,
I told him exactly where I live.
Oh no, he was like, I don't even want this smoke. And nowadays, you don't even know how somebody is gonna react. You like real talk. He might have been, and I could see, like having been in the middle of a lunch rush or something.
He treated the fuck out of me. Hung up.
Right, because when the phone ring when you in rush, like as a professional burger maker for a living at one point, like the phone ring at rush, and then you be like, nigga, you know it's 12 o'clock. You know I got a line out the door. And I could see him doing that, but Herb,
about 12 o'clock, dude.
May just said a professional burger maker.
I was. Hey man, look, I still mayonnaise, lettuce, 2 tomatoes, 4 pickles. Hey man, I was a professional. I won the burger contest at McDonald's. Thank you very much to Hamburger University from the streets of Bolingbrook,
like
nigga.
Father, like son. No wonder why Lil Ron's promo pics looks like the fucking Ronald McDonald thing.
Oh,
McDonald's sponsored this.
Y'all folks for that. Y'all.
Like father, like son. Y'all just every time y'all get closer and closer. Man. I love it.
No, Herb, it ain't no. And realistically, when a customer walks in, the only time you're gonna really get pushed back like that is one, if you're really in the hood, because there's somebody feeling like
really don't care.
Right? They like, I don't give a fuck about this job.
I'll leave that motherfucker right now with your box.
Right. And I think the other time is in those places where, there's a lot of, I'm gonna bring my food back, and like when brothers find out it's a return policy, you can eat up to 3/4 of the joint and then bring it back.
I don't even play those type of games because like I ain't like if I gotta send you my food back, I really don't fucking want it because especially if you got an attitude about it. Because I ain't.
Oh yeah, we gonna give you a special. Like when I worked at Burger King, there was a police officer, and we took his chicken sandwich inside of the male bathroom and wiped that bad boy around the urinal. Like real talk, like just like
Did you just hear that, bro?
And I'm talking about the dry. The urinal with the dry. You know how it's dry, so it's like the urine is dry, so you gotta kind of scrape it. You gotta kind of scrape it around.
Streets of Bolingbrook.
Mayonnaise them up.
Really?
Real talk. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I mean, and it was one of them things where everybody was like this, waiting for him to eat it because he ate there, so everybody was like, "Yeah, we did it."
Oh, eat Burger King.
Epic. It was epic. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, but it's all good. But I definitely told him when we first was like, no, I'm like, man, I don't live nowhere near here, fam. I ain't come over here
Was
about
you
no.
doing this too?
Hell yeah,
Was you
I was
yeah.
tight.
Look,
I'm telling you.
fam.
Look,
I'm
fam,
here
I
to
was
tell
tight.
you.
James, let me tell you something, James.
I don't even think I listen to music.
James, let me holler at you, James.
I don't think I listen to music from South Shore to Evergreen Park. I don't even think I listen. I was hot.
You was cooking
And
yourself.
so he come over there. I ain't do that to him. I'm like, look, man, I don't even live around here. Like, I'll stay way over east, fam. I came back over here about this bullshit. It ain't about this fucking $10 cheeseburger, okay? Stop playing with me, fam.
The burgers at Five Guys cost $10?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
No, man,
I
but
was
the
tight.
Burger King, the $10 burger is like almost the thing now. The only place you ain't get, I mean, Portillo's, that's $8.95. Add some cheese, you at 10.
That's true.
The $10 burger is
don't
like
even-
the
It's
thing.
like standard now.
Burgers like that. My wife had me go somewhere though down on Lake Street. She was some new swanky.
Oh, she had you
She
go
went
to
to
All
Cheval.
Cheval. All Cheval.
Old Cheval right there on
All Cheval, yeah,
on
send off.
on Halsted and
That's like a mama
Randolph.
burger. That's a mama burger. White folks,
Super send off.
that
I like
was
that
the
shit.
send off.
That's when you want to like crack
but I
an egg
got-
on top of your burger, that kind of.
But I
that
got
ain't my
burgers
shit.
for my family, and it was $100 a day. I
Oh,
was
yeah, for
like,
sure.
For some burgers.
And the burgers ain't even that big.
And
right?
I don't even eat burgers, fam. This is trash.
Yeah, they got Old Cheval and they got Small Cheval.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I said, yeah, I see why she wanted me to go to this one.
yeah. This is your kind of tap thing.
Yeah, this is my time.
Oh, listen, man. Let's take a break, man. When we come back from break, your boy Roland Martin got into it with a young brother. You said there was nuance to the conversation. I think they were both just a little bit right. We'll have the conversation on the other side of the break. This is I Said What I Said, Herb and 2 till 6. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
Everybody's talking about the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish. Place your order today for a delicious meal. The chicken and fish are fried to perfection, featuring a wide variety of catfish, perch, tilapia, whiting, and shrimp. Now it's your turn to see what everybody's talking about. It's the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, Chicago's newest spot for delicious meals. Stop by at 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop, or get contactless delivery from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. For more info, call 773-807-9010. 773-807-9010. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish is open just in time for lunch, or take it to the house for a delicious dinner. It's Chicago's new spot for perfectly fried chicken and fish. Don't wait any longer. Try it today. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Take notice, the Entourage DJs are taking over the game. Midwest Invasion.
All day. Check it out. See, while you was on the corner trying to scrape up pack money, I was driving 80 stack trucks on rack money. I'm back money. If you want it, come to the hundreds and ask for me. Meet them OGs that are blast for me. I'm right here. Ill Adidas, $400 jeans on me. Itchy with no safety, a loaded magazine on me. Southside, that's as wild as it gets. And no, I never sold crack. That's some house nigga shit. I'm not judging, but every man that's a man gotta stand by his principles, and I'm not budging. That's Mickey. You can take it how you want, but you can never be me. You can fake it how you want. I spit that uncut raw. You can bake it how you want. Break it down any way you like. You get the same result. Get in tune. The elephant in the room has now assumed pole position. Whoa. Oh. BJ, get him. Come on. Reporting live Live from the gutter where that butter get gorillas jobs. That's why we call it work. The same work who get a nigga robbed. I throw my dice against the concrete. If the bitches pass, see you later. Grab my paper, tell us they kiss my ass. This the jungle, baby, I'm a lion. Try me, I'll be firing. The same banger saved Private Ryan. You the prey, you survive and hide. Better pray that them vultures and them rovers don't go flying by them. The mother niggas just so-so. How Lindenberg for nigga this hot in the cold go. I went from 20-inch assassins on that Osmo to the pretty 760 sitting low on them bozos. Those are big shoes, you motherfuckers is so slow. Get caught without your heat in these streets is a no-no. Baby need Pampers, daddy need that photo.
From inside the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios, alongside two, my name is Herb. This is I Said What I Said. Thank y'all so very, very much for being here in the production studio, giving himself, no doubt, a round of applause. It's Mace Jackson. Mace, what's good, man?
What's good, Herb? And two is Wiz in the building. I see y'all merchandising the joint out.
Yeah, man,
I
we got
see
our
y'all
mugs.
got mugs.
We got our mugs in here. We both here trying to eat healthy, trying to drink our smoothies. So I'm not gonna put it in the
I
mug.
thought y'all was on the Husky diet plan.
It's always ahead, man. It's always ahead, man.
I was like, man, I seen two rolled up. You know, it's summertime. Two got his bike on his shoulder. You know, that's his. He's a capitalist. He's a capital cyclist. He's a what is it? A bicycle? A bicyclist.
I stole that bike.
Right. That's your street cred. Then we go back to our street cred. That is the hardened edge of Tupac.
It ain't about street cred. It's just how much white
I
people
stole
not
that
pay for it.
It is what it is, man. Every now and then, you know, people call you on the carpet and about things you say or things you do, and your boy Roland Martin, that dude was interesting to me, man.
It's Texas, man. He's an alpha, but he's from Texas A&M. I know a bunch of alphas from Texas A&M, and there's a lot wrong with him.
He's special.
He's different. Like
He is
He's a different dude, G.
Joe, I'm
like
not,
every time you talk to him, because I've only talked to him 3 times, and they were heated arguments. Like, well, I won't say arguments, heated exchanges. All 3 times.
He funny acting, man. I'm gonna just be honest with you. When he was first of all, we all need to give him a big flying fuck you because he's the person who sold the Defender location, that property, as he was trying to revive. But man, you know how you give somebody some money. I used to be a director of urban marketing for Coca-Cola, and when he came, we advertised. We did the Coca-Cola Player of the Year. We did all the stuff.
Black marketing.
Right. This fool
Inner
sees
city
me
marketing.
on the boat. We on the Tom Joyner cruise for like 7 days. This fool sees me 7 days in a row. I'm like, hey, you know how you try to do that? Hey, what's up? Like, and he like, look. And from that point on, I was like,
past you.
right. Then it's like, you know, he was. Then he gonna start like the people we had on our show when we was doing our thing. Then all of a sudden he gonna start calling them up and trying to make our people feel. Hey man, I don't like that dude. Sorry.
I worked for him for all of 8 hours. I worked at the Defender one day, and I was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work out, bro. It'd be smart if I just leave today.
Why do I see that? Why?
For real, because it was gonna go bad.
No A5 love or nothing like that. That
It was
didn't.
gonna go real bad. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna take this loss and I'm
Take
going on
this
to the
in.
crib, bro. You can have this one.
All right, Herb.
But
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
didn't
I'm
work
not your.
for us.
No, y'all good.
Didn't work for us at all.
I was reading a comment from Cam. Cam says, Roland is the king of niggercrats. The young king never said don't vote. He said that voting isn't his mission. Had he waited on a politician, he wouldn't have had his school. He opened a school at 21. Rahm, the politician, closed 50 schools. Yeah, the young brother is definitely, making some noise in the community. Now,
Let's be clear, too. He hasn't opened the school. That's a falsehood. He's trying to open a school. He's saying that he's looking to do some construction. He's something around. He's not gotten the doors open. He's not gotten the paperwork. So he's in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So in process is Dr. Umar Johnson and me. Until it's done, it's in process. You know what I mean? Show me.
I'm still gonna clap for him during the process.
Yeah, salute, man. I salute him doing any work in the neighborhood or doing any work with the youth. But again, like I think we kind of throw words around. And I'm not even shitting on Dr. Umar for that matter, too. I want to be clear. Like even people who do shit on Dr. Umar, when you think, about the money he raised or whatever, when you think about how much it costs to run a school and how much it costs to buy a school and open a school, it's not light work. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
So the young boy in Georgia, he has about, and he's getting ex-juvenile offenders. He's doing a lot of stuff that we do already here in the crib.
I've been trying to get him to be on that for a minute, Africa.
So,
He's
So anyway, but he does what we do a lot of times here at the crib, and I don't want to minimize that, but it's also, we're praising in this conversation nationally like it's not something that black men in every city and every state do, and that's just not true. We, in a lot of ways we get this brand, but we're committed to our community. Those who are. That just is what it is.
For sure.
And this is the most easy and direct way to do it, to go grab some shorties and engage them, and that's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to minimize them, but it's not like,
yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? So, but I got a video of it if you want to hear it, but again, like I said, it's deeper than just what he's talking about here.
Yeah, for sure. Let's play the video that you got that you want to show, and then I can also read some of the article. As a matter of fact, let me just read some of it, and then we'll play the video. It's a little lengthier than I want to read the whole thing, but it is veteran political commentator Roland Martin, 52 years old, got rolled over by a 21-year-old Georgia man during a recent interview. King Randall I, who describes himself on Twitter as a Christian conservative and supporter of ADOS, is the founder of the X for Boys, a youth organization for young black men ages 11 to 17, according to Access Wire. Randall is also in the process of opening a self-funded school for boys. Randall promotes self-sufficiency and got into it with Martin over the concept on Roland Martin's Unfiltered podcast. While the discussion was heated, the beef between the two goes back to a Twitter diss. I was actually a big fan of yours, but you shared one of my videos when I said black people have to stop begging the government and go and do for self out in our communities. And you shared the video and called me an idiot, Randall reminded Martin during the interview. When Martin asked the young community activist to explain what he means by do for self, Randall shot back. Here in Albany, Georgia, we complain about our school system a lot. Many of our young men can't read. I started a program, thus do for self. The article goes on, but that is the gist of the exchange that they were having. Two has a video. I think this video is this Roland Martin's response or perspective.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
He just did a tie to you. He
Right.
just tied it. You be like, and that the layup. Yeah, no.
I'm not getting no action over here.
I don't.
I'm ready.
Maybe because I don't got you synced up over here. Well, that wouldn't have nothing to do with why you can't play it over there. Okay, now I got your computer at least over here. Okay, cool, got you. We should be solid now.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead with it.
All right, volume is up.
Go do for self in our own communities.
So define do for self.
When I say do for self, you shared one of my tweets, my videos, and I was actually a big fan of yours, but you shared one of my tweets when I said black people need to stop begging the government and go and do for self out in our communities. You shared the video and called me an idiot. I didn't see anything idiotic about that statement at all.
So when you say do for self, like what?
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
Okay, for example, here in Albany, Georgia, we complain about our school systems a lot. Many of our young men can't read. They have very horrible literacy rates. We don't have any rehab programs here for juvenile offenders. What I decided to do, I started a program 2 years ago, decided to do for self, and I started taking children into my home. I started taking custody of kids from juvenile court, and I started molding them and training them and teaching them skilled trades, etc. Now I'm 21 years old. I just purchased a school here in Albany, Georgia, to combat us being in the government-funded schools that are not teaching our children what they need to learn. So that's what I mean by do for self, simply getting up and going out and do it.
So
I beat the stereotype that I'm young, black, in America, and I can't do anything because somebody's holding me down. Absolutely not.
So a question.
Teenagers went and go ahead. Me and some teenagers went and bought a school, and we just bought a school bus simply from going out and doing work. We decided to go fix our own communities. I'm not expecting anything from no politician. I'm not expecting nothing from Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or nobody. We're going to go do it for ourselves, and that's what I believe we need to be doing. I can vote, sure, but nothing's going to change in our community.
So you went to...
We have to get out and go.
So that was that exchange too.
So look, why we pay taxes then? I mean, we don't expect shit from the government. Why the fuck is we paying taxes?
It's a great question.
At all. Like sales tax, employment tax. Why are we paying that shit if you don't expect shit? Because if you paying it, then you just giving a fucking donation. So to come with the again, it's nuance in the conversation. I'm never saying sit your ass at home and wait for somebody to come save you. I'm not saying that at all. But because we don't fully grasp the understanding of how this game is played, like you say shit like that and it comes off and it sounds cool, but it really is very stupid. It is the very essence of what government is about. It's the essence of why they take that big ass chunk of money out your check every month. It's why you go into the stores in your community and they're taking XYZ percentage off every dollar. Right? A pack of cigarettes in Illinois costs something like $15 goddamn dollars. You go one state over, you can get them shits for $6. That is tax, goof ass. Right? That goes to the government and entities that should be affecting your community. And you pay it. You pay it every day in every interaction that you have. So to assume that they don't owe you nothing is foolish. And that's disregarding the legacy of black people in America. I'm talking about what you do every day when you walk out your door.
Sure.
We're not talking about the 400 years that built this goddamn wealth, this entity of wealth.
Sure.
Right? This bastion of white wealth. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about the free labor that they had off my grandfathers and my grandfather's grandfather's grandfather. We ain't talking about none of that free labor. We just talking about you going to the corner store today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you're still giving money. So to say that they don't owe you, stop it.
I didn't hear him say they don't owe you. I heard him say that he's not waiting for it to come.
Either way, stop it. It is owed to you, and you should be getting
He didn't say it wasn't. He just said he's not waiting for it.
Okay. I thought I heard, well, stop. You're right. Let's stop waiting for it. Let's go demand what is ours. Everybody else ain't waiting for it either. Okay. Everybody else ain't waiting for it either.
In the interim, we still need to get busy, though.
But that's part of the getting busy. That's part of the goddamn conversation, right?
Agreed.
So I don't understand. Like, even when you read his bio and, like, he's an ADO, how the fuck could you actually acknowledge you being part of the ADO as a movement and say, I don't give a fuck about no politics? Then you fucked up. You confused. Because that's what that whole movement is about. That's what the term is derived from and everything.
So I think that, I say all the time, we have to fight this war on multiple fronts. That's unfortunate. It's not the way you want to fight a war, but it is the predicament we find ourselves in. Everybody's job in the war ain't the same. And so, yeah, we need to be taking the fight to the front door of politicians and the government. But somebody needs to be on the ground getting busy in the hood. And if that's where Shorty finds his role and his value, then good for him. Go get busy and let Toussaint go bang on the governor's door.
No, it's an all-in thing, right? So
yes, all in, but
I'm not knocking Shorty at all.
I play O-line, you play receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't never caught a pass ever.
The very essence of everybody of this human journey is to create something better for the next ones coming behind. Mm-hmm. That's the very essence of this shit. Mm-hmm. Period, right? Mm-hmm. And government is a part of that, right? Government is a part of that. Manning up in your community, raising community, leveling up community, that's part of it too. It's not a separate game. It's all the same goddamn thing. Mm-hmm. And if you think about all the failures that exist in our community, they are responses to governmental relapse or governmental failures in our community. So to separate the two is foolish. You can't have one without the other. They're not self-sustaining. And the shit he's talking, I really would like to go in depth because he says he's 21 and he got custody of kids from juvenile court. How the fuck is that possible?
Yeah, that sounded crazy.
How the fuck is that possible? Right, so you can get on the mic and say anything illogical. You can't go get your fucking ear pierced without somebody that's 25 years old. You talking about he got custody of children? That's his goddamn age?
I almost took custody of one of my players when I was like 23. Like 23. His house shit was fucked up, and I went through the process. Anyway, I don't know. That sounded wild. That sounded wild to me too.
But outside of that too, though, it's again on your bio thing. They say he's an ADOS member, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's another conversation where he's a conservative. And he's been invited. He's been to the Republican White House, and they leverage him as this kind of conservative view, conservative thought, black man who's doing for self and don't need the liberal, handouts or whatever. It's a game, man. And again, I don't even fuck with Roland at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? At all. And I think Roland is way off based on a lot of goofy shit. He's that what the May call him the Afrostocracy. He's the goddamn mascot for that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The ascots he be wearing and all that. He's the mascot for the Afrostocracy. Mm-hmm. And does
he have a Kente mascot? Kente,
I'm sure he has several. And he really wants that positioning very bad. And because of that, they get to play his goofy ass too. But these are two goofies being played by both entities. And then they're having an argument where we're interpreting it and it says Roland gets owned. He didn't get owned. This is ignorance.
That's just headline. That's just clickbait.
Yeah, it's just ignorance.
I think that they both are right and wrong. I think that the young brother, one, I applaud his spirit. If that's what he on now, you gave me new information about his allegiances to the Republican Party and all that shit, and that's certainly worth looking further into. But on the surface, I like Shorty's energy. I like what he's trying to do. I like the fact that he's investing in young black boys from the hood. I like that he's trying to pull back and build, right? I think that he's a little misguided in his complete indifference toward government contributions to communities, right? Like that is self-defeating. And you can be about, do for self and what are we doing on the ground? Cool, if that's your lane, get in your lane and get busy. But again, we got to be on the same team. And so if your role on the team is not to go bang on the governor's door and demand something from the government, then that's cool. That ain't your role. Your role's out here on the streets. But what you better not do is impede the progress that the person who does have to go bang on the door, you impeding their progress, fam. Okay, so we on the fucking same team. And you can be an offensive lineman. You don't got to be a wide receiver. But motherfucker, don't be in the way when I'm running my route. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying.
But that's kind of my point, though. It ain't no lane. Every lane is our lane. We got to play in every lane. Because just like you said earlier, we had a war on every front. You can't choose to do one without the other. And to choose
as a collective, we got to do it all. But each individual can't do it all. That ain't everybody don't even have a skill set or interest.
I'm with that. But as a collective, we have to be playing on every level. And that's what I'm saying. So to say one is better than the other is foolish.
I don't. Can I? I'm sorry. I don't think that it's one better than the other. But I do think we live in an era of rap beef, right? Where this kid thinks that his way to advance what he's doing is to tear down Roland. Now, I don't care for Roland at all, but I do think that they, like, what you find is an activism. Like, my contribution is more important than your contribution, or you ain't doing shit. And then he gets all these headlines for dissing dude, when I think Roland, even though we don't like him, he has a role within, well, I'm going to speak for myself.
No, I don't like him. I'm fine with that.
I appreciate that. So I do think, though, that this kid does more harm in this conversation, and I don't think that the point of his conversation is to build up. I think the point of his conversation is to essentially tear down Roland, like, in my estimation. And I do think Roland has a purpose. I think somewhere in our space we have been bred, and I think this goes to your capitalism argument or whatever, but for some reason we feel like the success of another black person in some kind of ways oftentimes becomes a hindrance to us. And so you see how many people make their living now in this internet space, not building up, but tearing down, like troll, like that. That's right. The whole reason that the Lil Nas X, he is trolling, right? And some people have made their space to be, I am going to take down. If you are anything, you are a person of some influence, I'm going to pick you apart, or I'm going to try and use what I've done to say you ain't did shit.
But it would be hypocritical of us, or short-sighted at least, for us to expect that kind of understanding and that type of large picture view from the 21-year-old when we got community leaders that been heads of the biggest churches in this city, been beefing for fucking years. Y'all claim y'all about the same thing, upbuilding the community, changing the circumstances, but y'all beef all the time. Like, that's how y'all behave, and that's how leaders of the reparations movement behave. How we expect this shorty to behave differently?
But then we go back to capitalism, right? Because that behavior is strategic and it's not by happenstance. They behave that way because they're fighting over small pieces of resources. Right, even Shorty, he might not recognize it as such, but even a little bit of claim that he's getting right now for shitting on Roland is giving him a little bit more internet or digital resource.
He'll have a Cadillac commercial next week.
He'll have a little more access, and he'll be pulling up in his Cadillac, his Coupe de Ville. You know what I mean? Because that's how the game goes. Oh, I can get popular, I can get recognized, I can move the needle. It is why I don't have. This is why I have a disdain for the young boy here too. I can't even remember his name, and I really don't like this kid.
Who from where?
The one who ran for mayor here.
Jamal Green?
Jamal Green,
because it's the same kind of energy. You know what I mean? There's other shorties here that I really rock with. But at the same time, Jamal Green has a humongous following, right? And it's just he's mastering and taking advantage of the opportunity, right? If you know anything about him or have any up-close dealings with him, like you could feel the energy, bruh. You know what I mean? I don't care how people feel about that, but we got to start pulling the wool back and calling spades spades. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Because those kind of people are harmful to our growth and our desire for the theatrics, because those people are usually the best performers. They acted their way to the top in the first place. Right? So our desire and buy-in to the theatrics is like, it moves the needle. But we don't invest in the education. We don't invest in the understanding. So we only looking at the fucking show. We only watching the show. We got to watch more than the show.
Hey, Cam, you got a connection to this shorty? You are going really, really hard in defense of this shorty. Nobody's really attacking him. But, I mean, if you got a connection to him, we can have the conversation. Or if you want to speak on it, like you seem to have some intimate knowledge of this shorty's, his perspectives and all that. It's welcome here. It's valued. You defending him real hard. Nobody's really attacking him.
He know me. I know shorty. I've told him this before. It ain't no big deal. I stand by the shit I say.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, I'm not talking. No, not J-Mal. I'm talking. Cam Mace, has been staunchly defending the young brother. I forgot his name. The young brother from down in Albany.
And I'm again.
I'm saying nobody's attacking him.
Conversation where I say this nuance. I don't want to shit on Shorty. I'm not saying Shorty's. Well, he is wrong in that conversation, in my opinion. The perspective that he's coming from is wrong. I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong. I salute what he's doing on the grounds, and that's why I said nuance. I salute what you're doing on the ground. We need to be doing that, but we need to be doing this too. It's not either or. We need to be doing both.
Yeah, it's definitely not either or. We don't have the luxury.
Right. And for the way we have been surviving in these Americas, it's been mostly by government. Right? So to assume that government doesn't have any responsibility in our communities, that's just a foolish statement, right? That
all of our kids go to government schools.
Right. That's what public means.
Most of the people
publicly is government, my man.
Most of the people employed in our community have government jobs.
We're laughing at that. But if we're being honest, we got to know that the vast majority of our community doesn't associate the two.
Hey man, I'm laughing because I agree. Damn it,
they don't associate the two.
Yeah, they don't necessarily associate CPS with the government.
They don't say that's government.
Just like the people in the jets used to be like, "This is my house."
Yeah, it's not.
Like, this mine. I paid this man $8. Mine.
Right. That's not. You go to school for free because of government. You know what I mean? The fact that there is a CTA, that is government. You know what I mean? Think about what happens if they get rid of the CTA and your ass got an Uber everywhere. You seen them prices?
Right.
Them surge prices?
Right.
Your ass could never have a job because if you're a burger professional,
it costs you more to get to work.
It costs you more to be. If you was a burger professional,
it costs you more to get to work than you make it.
To get there and back than you would make.
Respect to all burger professionals
and I'm not
across the country.
No,
I'm not either. Man, I'm saying I was in an Uber this weekend, and literally it was $45 to go like 10 miles. Miko was trying to do the show. Yeah. Remember she was late last week? I was talking mad smack, but she don't have a car. She was Ubering. She tried to Uber here.
Couldn't find the rate that was acceptable.
$55 to go 8 miles. Yeah. And I was like, this free. So don't be looking at me.
I was riding my bike, and I got the 47, and it was about to rain. And I said, man, I want to take the bike back home, but I ain't going to make it.
All right.
So my little son's best friend's mama stayed right down 47, so I just put the bike in the yard, Ubered to here. $30, Joe.
That's off the meat rack.
$30 from 47th to here.
That's off the meat rack.
Gee, that's ridiculous.
Yes,
bro.
it is.
That's ridiculous.
But that's great. So without public transportation,
CTA and the L.
Without public transportation, you'd be smoked for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and you pay into it. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, every purchase at the store, or salary, income tax. I mean,
that's the tax.
Yeah.
That's the
state tax, federal tax, income tax, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sales tax.
But it's also problematic that I live in a community where we got
liquor tax, water
homes,
tax, bag tax.
And I can't send my children to none of the schools in my community. I don't feel comfortable sending my children to none of the public schools in my community. So now I'm paying taxes and paying for private education.
That sounds kind of capitalist.
You know what I mean? No. I said there's $1 million homes in my community. This is Chicago.
I'm talking about the payment for the schools.
No, that sounds like an investment in my children.
That sounds like capitalist.
No, that sounds like an investment.
That's what we capitalists call why we go to work.
But it is what it is, right? But we don't think of it like that either. We don't think of those things. You know what I'm saying? Here I am paying all this money on property taxes and everything else that comes with being in that community. You paying for all this shit, right? So, but people how it works, right? This is why government is important. Right, I live on the border of Hyde Park. And when I say the border, I mean this side of the street ain't Hyde Park, this side of the street is Hyde Park. You know what I mean? I'm still in the 4th Ward. But because Hyde Park's bounds and the way government works, there's about 6 level 1 schools in Hyde Park. Matter of fact, some of those level 1 schools that are in Hyde Park are closer to my house than the schools that are considered my neighborhood schools, right? But my kids can't go to none of those schools because they've been zoned off for that part of the community. You understand me? We need to be paying attention to that kind of shit. We need to know that. That is, and outside of that, why is there 6 level 1 schools in this one neighborhood?
This Hyde Park, damn it. And now them rich white people need a place to send their kids. Where you think University of Chicago professors got to send their kids?
I'm very clear. Right. I'm very clear. You know what I mean? But again, we don't cognitively think of it like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
No, we kind of
Eric couldn't go to Kenwood just on GP.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's insane, bro.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
My cousin has this is true story. My cousin has a townhome on.
I never think you're lying. just for the record.
But think about that. G. They live on Drexel, bro. King is across the street. King is not their neighborhood school. It's on Drexel.
All right. The school's on Drexel.
Gee, how insane!
Selective enrollment.
How insane is that?
Yes, it's like King is like now one of them. It's like a Hyde Park. It's like a Whitney Young. I mean,
yeah, and they tried to do that to Whitney Young too.
I'm on the wrong side of Drexel.
And they wanted, they was like, you gotta let like neighborhood West Side kids come, and they're like, come where? Like, up in here? Fuck no. Take this test and we'll see. But you know, I get it. And so again, I like Shorty's energy. Nothing wrong with his aim. He got to change his target a little bit. I like his passion. I like where his mind is. He just got to understand, which just like everybody else in this movement got to understand that it's about the collective. And so whatever your lane is, if your lane is mentor, or if your lane is education, or your lane is economics, or whatever the fuck your lane is, we need it. Go get busy in your lane, but it must be tied into the other shit. The other thing we don't understand is how well organized, unified, and tied together these systems of oppression are. So all of these things that keep us out, they go hand in hand. It ain't just, the medical field and these health disparities, or economics and these wealth disparities, or education and these disparities. All of that shit is going together intentionally, deliberately. And so the people who are running the healthcare system, they ain't in the fucking school, but it's all together. And so we need to understand that whatever your lane is, so long as it's interconnected with the other efforts that we have, then it's cool. But when you start shitting on another approach that we have, another mission that we have, you are out of pocket, sir, and you need to be. You're in violation right now, sir. I don't care how good of a soldier you are in violation right now.
That's where the nuance comes for me too, though. Like, I think politics, though, I don't think we have that option with politics. I think everybody has to be engaged and has to know something. Right? Because it is the key factor that upholds your oppression. It is the key factor that upholds our poverty. It's the key. Poverty is legislated, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? And we again, because of our disenfranchisement, because of our levels of ignorance, because of those poorly funded public schools that we attend, and because we're being educated in the white supremacist system to think like white supremacists, we think poverty is a choice. We think we just decided not to be shit. I had an argument.
Say it all the time.
Yesterday with this woman, and I laid, and it was on Facebook, and I laid out a very clear argument, and it was based about some relationship shit and why money matters, or why a man don't have no value if he don't have no money. So I just broke down the basic numbers, and I said, man, 10% of Americans make $100,000. 1% of black folks. Mm-hmm. Fuck is you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, this shit, if you know the numbers, if you know the data, everything you're spewing is dumb.
Go back. Mm-hmm. Could you go back to that? Say that number.
10% of Americans make over $100,000.
Total?
10% total.
Of all Americans?
Of all Americans.
What?
Make $100,000. Mm-hmm.
Only 10%?
Only 10%.
Wait.
Only 10.
Of the whole.
Have you seen? I can't remember that
makes
video.
sense to me.
I show.
Go grab 10 people off the street and ask them which one make $100K.
They gonna lie to you.
No,
what?
one will be like, yeah.
Right.
9 will be like, I don't make $100K.
There's a video though, man. I gotta get it for you because I show Herb and this shit is unbelievable. And it's like a cartoon that breaks down the wealth disparity in our country and how wealth gets laid out in our country. Gee, the shit is so insane. Like, if you saw it in real time, it's like it's insane. It's insane. Right? But my point is, 10% of Americans make $100,000. 1% of black people. So miss me with the bullshit you talking. Because it's not even a logical equation.
That you talking.
Right? So I lay this out and say, hey, man, this is what it is. I'm not even being Toussaint. Right? I'm being very cordial in my conversation.
Where was this at?
This is enticing. It's online. It's typing. Right? And at the end of that, I say, hey, man, you can believe what you want, but I think it's more important that we build together than destroy each other. And that left it at that. And she came back and she said, well, that's a lie, because I know we don't need the shit that people are studying. We don't need them on sociologists. We just need to stop studying dumb shit and start studying we could be lawyers. And, just a very surface level dumbass argument. But that's how most of us approach the world, because we don't have any really in-depth understanding. So when you see other black people and you look at the impoverished situations, you thinking it's a goddamn choice. It's not a choice, man. It's not a choice. This shit has been legislated. This is the design. This is the design. And if you get outside Chicago, man, you get into some of the rural areas of America, which is most of America, you see the white folks is living just like that too. It's the same shit, but you don't have that experience. You know what I mean? And again, that's a safety net in Colorado or Iowa or Minnesota. It's somebody's factory that way the cost of living is going to be supported by XYZ, whatever. But they ain't making no money. Be clear about that. And we just don't have that understanding, but that is all legislated.
Agree with you. And I think that, in light of that, I think that our collective missions or our collective strategies should derive from the political space first, right? And so what are we trying to do politically? Reparations, vote this in, vote this out, and then everything else kind of needs to be in line with that, whatever kind of work you're doing, right? So I agree with you that it should start there, but I don't think that everybody has to be actively involved in that particular lane.
Maybe not, but you need to be educated. You need to be actively have an active understanding.
Sure,
right?
Agree with you.
I
It got to be connected,
right? When you think about it, in school, there's no civic classes in school. You don't even talk about politics until you get to college, and shit. What 10% of us go to college? Come on, man, miss me. Right, and the 10% of us that go to college, in that vein, a lot of us ain't really taking no goddamn civics classes. We ain't understanding.
Yeah.
That's not real. Yeah. But again, it dominates so much of our lives, and specifically us. Right? If you made it to college, 9 times out of 10, your mom and daddy work for CTA. Or not, I don't even say CTA. Let's say public transit, because you might be from Atlanta and they rode the RTA. You know what I mean? For real, like straight up.
Or some government job.
Right, or they deliver mail, because that's who employs us. So if you got it that far, and college is not about who's the fucking smartest, it's who's about who had resources to get in. Right? So if that's the case, you probably come from some kind of government entity. Somebody was government entity took care of your whole goddamn life. And then to have a disregard of that or have a lack of understanding for that is just simple to me.
Matt said, you're right, too, but I got to push back on your percentage. It's actually 9%.
Oh, shit. Damn. My
bad. Let's shift a little bit and spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about your girl, Tamika Mallory.
Cadillac T. Killing them. So she's just doing what pastors do, man. In her Cadillac. You know
Pimping.
What I'm saying?
Pimping ain't
I ain't
dead.
even saying she a pimp. I'm saying pastors got
Pimping
Cadillac.
ain't dead. You niggas just born as hell.
You pimp ain't dead. You niggas just scared. You know
Right.
Hey,
Tamika Mallory is the source of some criticism. Actually, we had talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago. Tamir Rice's mom had came out and she held no punches about her disdain towards Tamika Mallory, specifically calling out her name, saying she's all about the money and she's not really advocating for nobody but herself. Yada, yada, yada.
My son's dad.
Right. And then this week, she's been under fire because she has a new Cadillac commercial and she's selling Escalades.
Hey, man, get your money, man. Get your money, man.
And people are saying, ma'am, do you know the history of General Motors and the fact that they owe us shit? And so it's one thing if you are, I don't know.
Is it about
some other
General
celebrity
Motors, or is it about activists be getting goddamn endorsement deals?
It depends, G. So it's one thing if you're just some celebrity for, I don't know, acting or sports or whatever the fuck, right? And that's just your endorsement deal. But if your celebrity comes from black activism and you supposedly working on behalf of black people, then your endorsements matter a little bit more, right? Who you get in bed with financially even matters more than it would for fucking the running back for the Bears or some shit like that. What's up,
What's
Wes?
the difference between her and Colin Kaepernick?
In what way?
I'm saying, let me not say that. I'm saying that seems like the Colin Kaepernick set the stage for this. To do the
take the Nike deal?
Yeah, the activism and the deal. And like I thought that there would be pushback from Colin when he did.
You talking about the non-disclosure agreement with the league or the Nike deal?
The Nike deal when he did Nike, Colin Kaepernick, fight the power.
Maze, I'm going to ask you, though. Did he set the precedence for this, or this just how capitalism works?
I'm not tripping. I'm not either.
But I'm tripping, though, because even again, this is why we have problems with politicians, right? Because at the core, what's a politician supposed to be?
About the people.
Public servant,
Yep.
right? And how the fuck are you about the people when that kind of money's at play? Unless if that's your value system. You know what I'm saying? And that seems to be our only fucking value system. So if I can get XYZ amount of money, fuck them people.
But do you think does it have to be? I don't feel like Colin is like, fuck them people.
No, I don't think so.
It might not be, but Nike surely is.
I agree. So, but again, that's the same.
So how can you be in bed with the motherfucker who don't give a fuck and then be a revolutionary? I don't see. That's oxymoronic.
First of all, I think us calling them revolutionaries is probably a bit extreme, right?
I think that was the lane that he was in, though.
He got out of it
when he was protesting. I think he disappointed me with the non-disclosure agreement from the NFL. The Nike thing, I don't know.
White kids walking around with Colin Kaepernick. I'm not tripping. I'm just saying he sold that movement. Like he rose to a space now, and I'm not tripping on him being able to cash out because he paid a price. Like he literally paid a price. And I don't necessarily know that Colin Kaepernick went into his protest
thinking that he would never play football again.
Right,
I'm going back to Uncle Walt, G. Okay. I'm going back to Uncle
Sacrifice?
Walt. It ain't a fucking sacrifice if that's your value
But
set.
I'm saying that wasn't his value set. I mean, he saw something that moved him. Let's be clear. Like, in my estimation, all of this stuff, like, it wasn't people's value set to be, like, all day, every day, I'm black. I think, like, the Trayvon Martin started opening people's eyes up, and then I don't think that it makes you every single day in it. I think people have moments when they are inspired, and they take that, and it may propel them or catapult them to another level that then they take on a crown that we've put on them that they don't necessarily, they're not necessarily prepared for.
His protest was silent. I mean, until they start showing about his locker every day in droves, like then he got to speak on it a little bit. But again, if he came out and said his movement was to expose injustices and all of that and make a change, but then you make a deal behind closed, like if you exposing shit or you're not. You know what I'm saying? And so I was disappointed in that piece.
This is the arrogance of being an American. Right? I think we always wanted both ways. You know, what my man in the wire say?
You want to be one way.
You wanted to be one way.
But it's the other way.
The other way. You can't play on both sides of the fucking field, bro. You can't. And again, somebody in the comments said the revolution will be monetized. And that's how we fucking look at this shit. It's an opportunity, and it ain't based in no truth because you don't really have any real.
Because we
again, I'm going.
We use freedom and money interchangeably.
But I'm going.
We act like we fighting for freedom, but we really fighting for bread, and they ain't the same.
Why in human possibility would an activist be getting endorsements deals? Somebody explain that shit to me. Let's good or bad. Somebody explain that to why that fucking makes sense from an activist perspective.
No, I'm saying the same thing. That's why I said it's. Like, but Tamika Mallory and Colin probably are different. Colin was a football player that took a stand.
Athlete, I get it.
Tamika built her whole and his platform.
Her celebrity only comes from black activism.
Being the fighter of and being in the forefront of. So there's the difference there. But I'm not saying that she should be getting endorsement deals.
I don't necessarily have a problem with an activist getting an endorsement deal. It depends on who it's coming from, right? And so I'm saying that you put countless hours into that thing, right? And so if Q was able to quit his job and full-time be community patrol, right? And then build a sustainable model in Bronzeville and then work to have that model be duplicated across the city of Chicago and then expand out from there. If that was Q's full-time 24/7 work.
Then Q becomes what? Because it's not community patrol anymore. Now he's a security company. And you're right. You should be paid for that. Because you're not doing community patrols. You have a full-on scaled-up, scalable security company. Sure. It's different than saying, hey, I just fuck with y'all, and this is what my skill set is. And me, myself, I'm walking around these blocks making sure no shit happen to my neighbors. But if I scale this shit city to city to city, you're right. Now I'm in business. Now I have a security company, and you goddamn right you gonna pay me. Because this ain't my block.
Right.
This is goddamn Houston, Texas.
And so,
I don't give a fuck about
and so what is the organization called? Tamika and my son, what is it? Until Freedom. Until Freedom, right?
I'm going to get my checks until freedom.
So Until Freedom is this national thing now, right? They show up on the ground everywhere. They find the biggest stories. They out there. They raise awareness, yada, yada, yada. They galvanize people, all of this. Cool. I'm not mad at that person who's doing that because I'm not going around to every fucking place, right? I'm not showing up in Louisville for Brianna.
Chasers.
Sure. Right, but I'm not showing up in Louisville for Brianna and then showing up in Minneapolis for George. Like I'm not going all of this over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's what y'all doing, cool. That takes time, that takes money. You need some resources for that, right? But where you go about getting those resources, if you are an advocate of black people in the black movement, that matters. And so when you get it from old white money, that's false. You can't move like that. You're in violation right now. If she got an endorsement deal from, I don't fucking know, like somebody else, cool.
But see, part of this is about us being so poor, right? When you think about King, you think about Malcolm, and you think about the aftermath of them passing away, or even shit in their lives at some levels, right? Malcolm, before he passed, everything he had was Elijah owned, and him and Elijah began to separate, and Elijah was like, run me my shit.
Gotta get bought to get free. Imagine that.
You know what I mean? Elijah was like, run me my shit. Now you got Malcolm, who's this national figure, homeless. You understand what I'm saying? You got King, who, when he passed away, there was no money, and was it Harry Belafonte sent all his kids to college and paid Coretta's bills and all that shit. But that's how the community leans on the community, right? If you have some level of empowerment. Right? But when you get to making corporate deals and you start looking at how, it's not a rational concept to me, right? As a public servant, why the fuck should you be getting endorsement deals?
Is she a public servant?
Is she a public servant? That has to be the question.
I think you got to define that, and I think we've put a mantle on her, right? Like she gave a banging speech.
Oh, she rose. She rose.
She on that shit full weight. I think we put it on Colin. But she on that.
Okay. So, I just think, like, she is probably the next level of Reverend Al, right?
She is.
So, she is, instead of Reverend Al getting the sponsorship, so Reverend Al gets the sponsorship for the NAN conference and all of that stuff, and his way of getting the corporations is to say, hey, sponsor my thing. To me, she's the elevated level of that, and she says, well, I'm an influencer. So as an influencer, Coke and whoever, and what she's going to do is she's going to have a Tamika Mallory something that she then rolls out that uses, like, watch, there'll be a scholarship fund, there'll be an activist
there's
fund.
going to be a lot of shit now.
There's going to be, but, and it all gets validated.
The commercials, some black
Wait,
shit,
it's a commercial?
Yeah.
She has a commercial. She's selling Escalades.
They had the whole website was dedicated to a couple days ago.
She ain't got like she ain't saying like a black power speech over the car, is she?
Nah, it's not like that. She kind of
I'm
like
gonna
walk
look it
around
up.
the car and it's like a voiceover and she's like saying some shit or whatever. But
this is interesting in the time of, let's be clear, man. Black male death elevated all these women.
What?
Let's keep it a buck, right? Let's keep it $100. This is what elevated.
Let me find the right one for this.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You got Black Lives Matter. They made how many fucking $100 million or something the other last week? Or what was that, a month ago when it came out that they made $100 million? Right? 3 gay black women. Right? When you start looking at, in a lot of ways too, in regards to like BLM, like in my mind, regardless of how I feel about the initiatives that they jump behind, they are real activists, right? They're really influencing change and policy, and they end them conversations. Tamika Mallory gives good speeches, and she's a high-level pastor, right? She's walking in the middle of the street. She's not really influencing anything that I know of, any legislation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And maybe it's just she hasn't gotten to that point yet. I don't know. And I'm not saying that to shit on Tamika, right? But I'm saying, like, even when you look at BLM and Tamika Mallory, they're getting money off black male death. That's really what. So it's not in their. It's not in their best effort to stop black male death. And it's amazing. This Cadillac contract comes out, or this commercial comes out a week after Tamir Rice's mama is going public. Like, what's this shit about? Because I feel like I'm being played, you know. So let's, you know, it's 5:02. Let's take this quick break.
Yeah, we'll
Get
take a
back
break
into it when we get back.
Well done. Sorry. Didn't mean to step on your intro. On your outro.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George